Hi guys, this is a fairly short video for this. What I wanted to do in this one is that, there's a bug on the next wave screen, so I want to fix that. We want to do a game start screen. That's the sort of main gist of this video here, which means we've got to set up the initial level and also allow users to um, turn on and off the volume in before they play the game. And of course, all of this starts after the fade. So this is what we're doing today. We are going to fix a bug on the next wave screen. So you look down here, you see there's a little bit of an issue down there. We're going to do a start game screen. We're going to set up the initial level, set up the volume level as well. So the volume, like the level, and then the initial level, I mean by when we right now we're manually resetting it, so we'll get it to do it when you're in the game. When you move to when you click play, it'll go there, and then we want to add sound on off options as well. Now, what I also want to do is I will I need material icons. Where are we? Material design icons. These guys here. Okay, I need this for later on. Because we need to have icons for the game start and all that kind of stuff. So, okay. So the first thing is I noticed that if I run the game just now, just making sure the thing's recording. So if I run the game just now and I go through here and I get, so you see what I mean? If you're on the next wave screen, you shouldn't be able to tap anything. So when the next wave screen is showing, you shouldn't be able to do anything. So what's happening is it is throwing an exception on here, which is set value at, which is being called from. If you press Shift F12, that shows you where everything is, where all the references are. So you see that it's getting called from in here, in here, in here, and in here. So it's not going to be there. Move player left is probably the most likely one. So is running is probably set to be false. So what I'm going to do is, or is set to be true, but I don't want to change anything there. What I'm going to do though is, the next wave alpha is going to be 1. So what I'm going to do is I am going to add a property, a private property, and that private property is going to return true or false depending on whether the next wave one is showing. So I'm going to say bool next wave showing, and then I'm going to do return next wave alpha equals 1. That's it. That's all I need to do. So when we do move player left, I'm going to say if it's not running or next wave is showing, and if it's not running or next wave is showing, then you want to return, and that's going to hopefully stop that. So let's see if that's fixed that. So I've got clear on play there. So do this, and then see it says get ready wave 2. That's the bit that we need to stop. We need to make sure that there you go, that's fixed that. Awesome. We need to stop it from starting at the last wave we were on, because if I stop this just now and then I play it again, it will say wave 3. Okay, so we need to stop that from happening. So inside the game controller, on a is it start the game somewhere down here anyway. I think. What do we do? We yeah, here we go. So start the game if pref has key that. If current round equals 6, then current round equals 1. Okay, so we need to reset current round when we do our main display. Okay, that everything looks fine there. So my new scene is now going to be the main menu. So I'm going to add a canvas, and my canvas is going to scale the screen size, and it's going to be a nominal size of 19200 by 1080, and I'm going to make that 0.5, so it's going to scale equally with width and with height. And the background for it is just going to be the background for the image that we have. I think what I want to do is I want to add an image, and the image is going to be, where's the size? 1920 by 1080. That's the image, and then the source of the image is the background. So we're just going to use the background for our existing image. Then I'm going to add some text. Actually, I'm going to add it. Should I add it on top of this? Let's add it on top of this. So I'm going to add text here, which is obviously very, very tiny. And we want to use our Roboto font. And this is called Space Rescue. And we will center it in there, and we'll make it a lot bigger than that. We'll have to make our text bigger as well. So you can have the text any which way you want it to go. I am just going to have it as sort of, that kind of size ish. And then I'm going to put it up here. And again, you can like tilt it, twist it, all that kind of stuff. So, but I just want to do like a basic scene for this just now. So I'm going to call this main menu. And that is my main menu. Now I have, okay, there's two things I want. So I want to have a play. So when I click on play, there's the Google Play button there, or I could have this one here, or any of these here, or the YouTube Play button. But I think I'll go for this one here. So I am going to download PNG 48, and I think I can choose black, and then that gives me the black version of it. And super handy website this. So I'm going to add a new folder here. I'm going to call this UI, and I'm going to drag my play icon into there. So now there you go, there's my play icon. Pixels per unit I'm going to say is 48. It doesn't really matter for this because it's going to be a sprite. It's going to be on an image anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And the other one I want is I want sound. Now there are, is it speaker? I mean, I guess I could use these two. These are kind of funky. But maybe, is it volume? There you go, there's volume. So I want this one here and this one here. So I want these two here. So I'm going to download this one here as the black icon. And I'm going to download this one here as the volume icon. So I'm only going to have two options. I'm going to have it on or off, and that's it. And they are, oops, didn't want to do that. Volume on and off, and I'm going to drag them into the same place as here. So I have my volume high, volume low, all that kind of stuff. Okay, and I'm going to add another image. And this image is going to be the play button. And I'm just going to put that bang slap right there in the middle. I'm going to make it a little bit gray. Probably won't work because it's black. Probably should have used the white one, but never mind. And then I'm going to add a button component as well onto there. Now, the button component is just there so I can have the on-click event. And the target graphic we can leave as that. And that's good. I think that's a good enough size. I mean, you should be able to sort of click that when you're using this on a phone. The other one I want to have another UI element. So I'm going to call this start the game. The other element I want to have is, in fact, I'm going to duplicate this one here. And I'm going to bring this down to about here. And this is going to be volume high. So the volume is currently on. Let me just drag that in a little bit more there. Something like that. And then I'll align that to there. And then this can be aligned center. That's good enough. And then this one can be aligned to the top. So that when it like resizes it, takes a good chunk out of there. And then we should probably actually have another UI element there. And then we'll add our sort of copyright text. And I'll say game by Sloan Kelly. And we'll align that there. And we'll change that to Roboto, because I like Roboto. Give me that even bigger. There you go. Okay, so super basic, but it's functionality we're going for here. So when I click on play, we wanted to do something. So in order for it to do that, we need to go and create some scripts. So our scripts there is the UI. So I'm going to create another one here called main menu. And I'm going to create a couple of scripts here. Start the game. And then the other one is going to be called control volume. And that's our two new scripts. So I double click that and reload the solution. Yep. Wide awake. I want that. And then I'm going to do requires component type of button. And then I'm going to add that. So I'm going to add using Unity Engine UI. That's going to add our using statement there. And the reason why is because I'm going to be totally lazy. And what I want to do is I want to say button equals get component button dot add listener on click add listener, and you'll see that it's a Unity action. And I think we can do new Unity action, and then we specify the target that we want. Or do we need to do that? I think we can probably get away with that. So if I do null in there, it doesn't like it, but we can solve that out. And then the target is going to be that, and that's all we need to do. So let's just break this down a little bit. Okay, so if you remember the actions video that I did for the video in September, if you don't, I'll try and remember and put a link up here somewhere. What we're doing is, this is a Unity action. What we're doing is we're going to create an action inside the Unity action. But essentially an action is a self-contained nameless function, nameless method that takes in parameters optionally, or does not, and then performs some kind of action that you want to run, which is an action is just a series of statements. So in this case, our series of statements, oh yeah, and the syntax is really weird, so I'm going to break this down a little bit. That's what I was going to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say that I want to have an action, and my action is going to be The action is going to reset that current round flag, and it's going to launch the game. That's what it's going to do. So it's going to be launch game equals, and then my action is going to be this function here. Okay, so I'm going to split this on 2 separate lines. Oh, and I need to add system back in again to get action. So I'm breaking this down. I could do this all in one line, but I'm breaking this down just to show the steps for this. And also I'm missing a bracket there. A brace there. Okay, so I want to reset that function here. So I want to say, I want to reset this here. So I want to say set integer current round 1. I want to set it to the current round. In fact, set wave number current round. Yeah, there you go. So it resets the current one. So I want to set that to current 1. Then I want to do scene manager, and I'll need to add that as well. So again, control period brings that up there. So I want to do using scene manager dot load scene, and then the scene name is game. And that's it. That's all. That's the action I want to perform. Now what I want to do is I want to add that to a Unity action. So I can just change that to var just to make this a little bit easier. And I can say var, oh no I can't because it doesn't like it because of weird things. I end up having to do like a cast to it, and I'll just leave it as action. Now we want a Unity action. Because I think we'll test this theory out, but I think it doesn't, adding a listener doesn't like anything other than the Unity action. So I'm going to say this is action wrapper equals new Unity action, and then inside there we want the method that we're going to call, which is going to be our launch game. And now what we can do is we can then add that to our listener. So we can do on click, add listener, action wrapper, like that. Okay. And all that does is we don't need to go in here and then set that value. So normally what we'd do is we would go in here, we click here, we click on plus. Sorry, let me just do that again. You come in here, you click on plus, you click on here, you click on the object, you do all this faffing around. If we're doing this in code, and for very, very simple things, it's easier to do it inside the code because the code is an asset as well, so technically it's not hard coding in a very, very loose way. But now what will happen though is we don't need to wire up all that. It's all wired up inside these, 10 lines or so here. So when I add this component to there, so this is going to be, what happened there? Start the game. So I add the start the game component to here. Now when I run the level, I can click on the play button and, oh, I need to add it first. Whoopsies. So build settings and then drag and drop these two into here. So the first level is going to be main menu, obviously. Okay, so now when I press play and then I press play here, it'll load the level, and then we'll be able to save the world. Okay, so that's the idea anyway behind all of this. I don't think we can pass this in though. Oh no, we can. Oh no, we can't. No, I didn't like it. Yeah, I didn't think I liked it. So we need to create this action wrapper in here, which is a bit of a faff, but what are you gonna do? Okay, so this is not start the game 1. This is toggle volume. So our toggle volume is going to take our control volume script. So we're going to drag and drop that over here. So now we have that on here, and then I can drag that here, and then I can say public sprite images. And so the first one is going to be off, and the second one is going to be on. Okay. So we go back to our art, and then we drag in our off, and then we drag in our on. So there's our off and our on. We also need to control our audio mixer as well. So we do public audio mixer, audio mix, and we also need to add our reference here to the audio. Why can't I think of this? Namespace, that's the word I was looking for. Namespace. We need to add our Unity Engine audio namespace, and that adds our mix to there. So again, we have our button click. We're going to borrow the same kind of technique for this. We don't need our start. Well, we do need the start actually. Void start. Require type of button. So again, we need our button, and we need to add our UI element there, and then we're going to borrow from here. So we're going to borrow this bit here. The difference is that we are going to call a method. So just another slightly different way of doing this. So our Unity action, again, we need to add our using Unity Engine events. And then our launch game is going to be toggle volume. Void toggle volume. There we go. And then that's the exact same thing. So there's two ways to do this functionality. So adding these values, well, there's three ways. There's the way through the UI, there's the other way that I showed you with the action, and then there's this one where you have an explicit function inside here that handles all your stuff. And then we have our private bool volume on, and our volume on is going to be got from our player preferences. So I'm going to do volume on equals player prefs dot get int, and then the integer is going to be volume on, and then the default value is going to be 1. So we want to set it to be volume on. And then volume on, we need to check to see if that is 1 or not. And then we are going to do, so we're going to call toggle volume there, but really we want to call toggle volume on. Yeah, we want to do that. We want to do toggle volume on, because inside toggle volume we're actually going to do toggle not volume on. So that's going to do the opposite. So if the volume's on, it's going to turn it off. If it's off, it's going to turn it on. Okay. So void toggle vol on, I'm just going to call this. So vol on. Then we say volume on equals vol on. And then if the volume is on, I want to set this preference so that we know that this preference has been set. So I want to say volume on player prefs dot set int volume on, and then the value is going to be, if the volume's on, I'm going to set it to 1. If the volume's off, I'm going to set it to 0. Volume on 1 or 0, and that's that. And then I need to tell the audio mixer what volume to do. So the volume mixer is this one here, audio mix. So audio mix dot volume. Is it set float? Set float. And then we've got to specify the name. Okay, and it's one of the exposed parameters. All right. So this is one of the things we've got to do down here. So we have a game audio mixer. So our mixers are there. This is on you, Unity. Right click here and choose expose volume of FX to script. So I'm going to expose that, and that gives me this expose parameters down here, and then I can rename this FX volume. Okay, and that is my volume, but there's no way to actually kind of know that that is linked to there. It's terrible UI is what it is. Okay, so I want to set the float FX volume, and then that's going to be volume on 1F or 0F if it's off. And that's that for the functionality. For images wise, what I want to do then is I want to set the current image. So I want to say get component image. So we have an image component, and then we want to say sprite equals, and then if volume's on, I want to do sprite. Actually, I could probably do sprite. It's not sprite, is it? It's images. Images volume on, and then I can convert that to an integer, and then that should just work. Or not. All right. Volume on is 1, off is 0. There you go. So again, this is the nice shorthand ternary operator here, where it's, is this true? If this is true, if this expression is true, then use this value. Otherwise, use this value. It's a very shorthanded way of doing if this, then else. Let me get rid of these up here as well. And running this, I already have that component against there, but I do need to pass in the audio mixer. So I need to pass in the audio mixer into there. And so default is on, and change it to off, on, off, on, off, on, off. Good. So if I've set that to off, when I load this back up again, it should say it's off. And it says it's off. So I set it to on, and it should stay as on. Awesome. Okay. What else do we need to do? Okay, so we did a fixing the bug there. We did a start game, set that one there. We set the volume level, and then we add the sound on off volumes. We're done. I think that's it. We're done for this video. So yeah, let's check and make sure we're okay. So I'm going to turn the volume up just a little bit. So this is the volume on. So I run through this. Okay, and then when we run it with the volume off, we shouldn't get anything. So I turn the volume off. and then work. It's just as well we test these things. Okay, so that's my menu game. And so where is the audio source? Audio source is on game controller, okay. And it is going through that there, but it's going through the audio mixer. Okay. So oh yeah, we've got to set it to like -80, don't we? Because the volume's not. I see. So the volume one is there. Let me set that to -80. Oh no, that's not right. I want to set the volume to be 0 if it's on, and -80 if it's off. Okay. I wonder actually if we can. So right now it's 0 decibels, so it goes to -80, which is there. So that's okay. I think we're good with that one. Okay, so if I press play now, so we'll play with audio, and we have audio. So let's play without audio. So that's us playing without audio. So the audio mixer. So now we can see that we're down at -80, which is good. So when we press play, we don't have any audio, which is exactly what we're hoping to get. All right, good job. And it only took us 35 minutes. Okay, we're almost there. I'm actually probably gonna do the Android setup next video. So just to let you know that this game is going to end up going on the store. So go through all the steps how to do all that kind of stuff. So that's the next video in this series is getting that up there. But yeah, I think that's a wrap for the game. There's only a little bit more polish needs to get done to it, and then it's done. So thank you very much for watching. If you liked the video, thumbs up. If you didn't like the video, thumbs down. Leave a comment below. Let me know, what you liked, what you didn't like, that kind of thing. If you did like the video, feel free to share on any social media you want. If you haven't subscribed yet, again, you need to hit the subscribe button, the bell button, get a note from your mum, all that kind of stuff. Send in a swab to 23andMe, and I don't know what else you need to do. And yeah, thank you very much for your time, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye bye.